This is a video about using Alexander technique to help you get a good night's sleep, particularly for the insomniacs out there, whether it's frequent or occasional. It's horrible, isn't it? So if you struggle getting to sleep generally, or particularly if you've got a pain issue going on at the moment, which is still stopping you sleeping well, this is for you with my love. I hope it helps you get a good night's sleep. So before you get into bed, get on the floor and do this, and seriously, I think it's going to help you. So we're going to get into our semi-supine position, which some of you will know. You need either some paperback books or a couple of little pillows. The purpose of those is just to put your skull on, not the rest of you, and you lay like this, drape your hands across your belly, have your knees up, and you'll see my knees, they're kind of well supported, so just watch that your legs aren't kind of here and you're causing you to wobble around. And what you're going to do is you are going to spend 5 minutes paying attention to your body. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with all of the bits of us that are on the floor. So I've got my whole torso, I can feel my shoulder blades on the floor. You might not be able to, it doesn't matter if you can or you can't, it's not any kind of contest. I can obviously feel kind of like my pelvis and my bum on the floor. I can feel that parts of my back are on the floor. I can feel my elbows on the floor, I can feel my feet on the floor, and I can feel my skull. And my neck is kind of supported. And by which I mean my neck isn't on the floor, it's supported by the cushion. It's important you only have like this top part that's your skull on the cushion and not your whole neck. So, what we're going to do is all of those parts I just mentioned, we're going to start to notice the tension that we can feel in them. So when I think about my feet, I can notice there's a tiny part of my feet that's kind of rocking in a bit, so I'm rolling in a bit, and that's causing my big toes, I can feel, and that kind of corner bit of my curve of my foot to kind of be a bit rigid. So I'm going to send instead a bit more weight through my little toes to kind of counteract that. And instantly my feet feel a bit less tense on the floor. Now I can feel that there's tension in here, in my kind of thighs. So I'm gonna notice my pelvis on the floor and have an image of my pelvis getting kind of wider and almost like as if my bum is like smiling across the floor. My teacher Antonella taught me that phrase and I think it's great. You want your bum to smile. Then I'm going to come up through my torso, and my torso doesn't feel too bad actually, but I'm just going to give this idea of like any kind of cramping, almost like give your body a bit of a stroke up through your rib cage. And just notice if there's any part of you that feels a bit rigid or a bit rocky or like you've kind of been pulled in. And just have this idea of like, a big breath going over you and letting your body just kind of spread out more on the floor. Now, notice your hands and your wrists. You can take them for a little walk, maybe, very gently, and then just let them drape back over. Notice your head and neck, notice your jaw, and just pay a little bit of attention, like it's the end of the day, everything's been going on the way it always does on a day, you've been busy, maybe you've got a bit of frowning going on, just use your fingers to gently kind of release what's going on in your brain. And just remind yourself that this is the time to let go. There is nothing better for us than letting our minds rest. Like that's how they replenish. We regenerate overnight. As much sleep as we can get is good for us. So just remind yourself that this is now your time to just let go. And what I want you to do now is, I don't want you to pull yourself up, like wake yourself up as if you are late or something. I want you to do it in a really nice, chilled way. And so decide which way you're going to roll and take your head that way. Support your body, make it easy. And then just come up slowly. And then go and get into bed. And good night.